Are you ready to boost your confidence when selling so you're able to close more deals? Nikki Rausch will show you how to build a foundation of skills and a mindset that creates sales success without feeling pushy or salesy and without fear of rejection. She is a sales strategist and coach with more than 25 years of sales experience and is master certified in neuro-linguistic programming. This is a radically different approach to selling. It's a no sleaze, no slime, and no stress approach to building your business. This is Sales Maven. Here's Nikki.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Rausch. I'm your own personal sales maven, here to offer you tips, techniques, and strategies to master that sales conversation. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to stop justifying when selling. Now, before I dive into the content, I want to share a few 5-star reviews and give some shout outs to some people who took some time to leave a review for the show. I am so grateful when people do that. I know it's not easy when you're busy and you're listening to a show, probably when you're driving or maybe when you're getting ready in the morning or you're out walking the dog, whatever it is, but to take time and actually leave a review means the world to me. So thank you so much. The first one is from Sonoma Kate. It says, required listening. Nikki Rausch is simply required listening for anyone who wants to get better at sales, which is to say anyone who wants to succeed in business. She has transformed my thinking about sales and embedded in my mind concepts that are giving me such a greater mindset about sales. Well, this makes me super happy. Thank you so much, Sonoma Kate. And I love anything around mindset. So knowing that you feel like these are embedded in your mind just makes me really happy. So thank you for that. And then one more 5-star review comes from the brilliant Shelly Warren. Shelly says, making sales fun. Nikki has a way about her that makes sales fun. The prep, the conversation, the nuances, and the follow-up are easier to do when you put her methods into play. Love the podcast. You were born to teach, Nikki. That is high praise coming from Shelly Warren. If you have not heard Shelly's podcast, it is part of the Biz Chicks podcast, and it's called Stacking Your Team. Shelly is an expert at hiring, firing, and inspiring. I think I'm saying that right, Shelly. Your team. So if you have a team of people, or if you're planning to have a team of people, I highly recommend checking out her podcast. I have learned so much from her. She is somebody who I consider a mentor. So thank you for listening, Shelly. This makes my day to hear from you. Okay, let's talk about how to stop justifying when selling. So first and foremost, this idea of justifying, in my opinion, in the sales process really puts you on your back foot. It starts to diminish your credibility and it starts to break down rapport when you go into justify mode. And there are 3 critical times in a sales conversation that you absolutely do not want to start justifying what's going on or why you made the decision that you've made, or why you're communicating in a way that you're communicating. So the first justification that happens quite often, I deal with this a lot when my clients are asking for feedback on things or how to communicate things to their clients, is around price increases. Now, you may have heard me talk about this before. It's one of those places where you absolutely do not want to start justifying your reason for increasing your prices. Because when you do, it sounds like you're open to negotiation. It sounds like a lot of times when people hear you justify your idea around a price increase, it's almost like you're asking for an argument. You're asking for them to come back at you as to why your justification isn't valid. And it's your business. You get to decide what your pricing is, and ultimately people get to decide whether or not they're willing to pay your prices. So there's never a need to justify a price increase across the board. Even when you get into the nitty-gritty with a particular client and you're talking about raising their prices, you're better off to just give a very straightforward answer. So I'll give you an example of a justification that I often see. People will say things like, the prices are going up due to the change in the economy. And also, I just can't work as much as I used to because now the kids are home. And then they go on with this story. I will say a lot of times justification shows up in the form of a story. So if you find yourself telling a story around your pricing, you are likely justifying your price. And you don't need to do that. When somebody asks you what your price is, you just say, my price is, and then you insert the price. And if you're going to raise your price, then you say, as of September 2020, the price is... That's it. You really don't need a lot of story when it comes to price increase. Again, you're going to open yourself up for people trying to argue your point. And that puts you on that, what I call the back foot in the sales conversation. And it's totally unnecessary. So the next time you're ready to do a price increase, and if you're going to communicate it to your whole list of people or to your full customer base, go back and reread what you've written. How much story did you put in there? How much justification? Oftentimes, even when clients tell me I can't raise my price because this person's going to say this or that person is going to say that. And when I give them language around how to communicate the price increase, it's 90% of the time, the people they're most worried about increasing their price come back and go, oh, okay. And then they move on with the conversation. They never make it as big of a deal as my clients think they're going to. So if you find yourself justifying price increases, knock it off. It's not needed. Okay. The second time you want to be really careful to stop justifying when selling is when things have gone wrong. There will be times where things will fall through the cracks. There will be times where you'll make a mistake. There will be times where things happen completely outside of your control. And if you start justifying all the ways that it's not your fault, you're often putting yourself in a terrible situation. It's a huge rapport breaker, and it will diminish any kind of credibility and authority you have. So I'm going to share a story with you. And I've been finding that the feedback about the podcast, people seem to, for the most part, enjoy my story. So I hope you do. I was laughing though. My friend Elizabeth posted the other day on social media, is anybody afraid they're going to show up in one of Nikki's stories? So I'm just going to say, it made me laugh. Thank you, Elizabeth, for listening, first of all. And second of all, for making a post about me and my stories. The story that I'm going to share is not anybody in my network. The chance of them ever hearing me share this story about them is probably slim to none. And I usually change enough detail, their names and things like that, where they wouldn't necessarily be able to identify, or more importantly, nobody else would be able to identify who the person was unless you knew the very specifics about the story. So that's my little disclaimer there around the story that I'm going to share. This story comes from something that just happened to me recently. So my husband and I made a decision about this time last year that we wanted to spend more of our free time with the people that we enjoy the most. And those happen to be my nieces and my nephew. And they live in Idaho, Boise, Idaho. I grew up in Boise, and we've been living in Washington State, just outside of the Seattle area. So about a year ago, we spent 3 weeks in Idaho with my nieces and nephew, and of course, my brother and sister-in-law. I actually have quite a bit of family here. And we had such a great time during those 3 weeks, and we just found that we wanted to be there. So we decided to move. This was a big deal for both of us. I have lived in Washington for 27 years. And I think my husband a little bit longer than that. He grew up in California. So a couple months ago, a house came on the market in their neighborhood, just about 0.2 miles from my brother and sister-in-law. And this was all during COVID. And so we essentially made an offer on a house that we got to see videos of. And we did end up, we made the offer, it got accepted. We did get in the car and drive to Idaho just to walk through the house to make sure that everything was on the up and up. And we bought this house. And so we moved. We moved last week. And moving, oh gosh, I'm sure you know, if you've ever moved, it's not fun. It's quite stressful. And there's a lot of, you have a lot of balls in the air when you're moving. I'm trying to run my business. We're trying to get our house on the market in Washington. We've already bought this house in Boise. And so I decided that I was going to hire packers and movers this time. I have hired movers in the past, but didn't have a lot of success with it. So every move that I've made over the 20 some years that I was in Washington, I pretty much did myself, except for one. But this time decided definitely getting packers, definitely getting movers. And the experience overall was pretty dang good. The packers that came, they were awesome. The movers that came were so much fun, and they were just really hardworking, just great guys. And after the movers had picked up our stuff and driven off in this big, this big truck, I get a call from somebody in the moving office. I've actually spoken to this person multiple times. And she calls and says, "Hey, I just want to confirm the delivery of your items." And she gives me a date that is about 4 days after what we had originally agreed to. And I said, no, you and I had agreed that you were going to deliver my product on Sunday. And she said, no, I have no recollection of that. I would have never said that to you, that your stuff would be delivered on Sunday. We had always intended to deliver it on Wednesday. And I said, no, I have a voicemail from you with this exact message where you are asking me if you can deliver my product, I keep saying product, my stuff, all of my stuff on Sunday. She said, no, that didn't happen. I would have not said that. What I might have said was that we would pick your stuff up on Sunday. And I said, no, your movers just left. Why would we have had this conversation? This makes no sense. I said, I have a voicemail from you with this exact message. And she's like, well, if you have it, you can see if you can find it and send it to me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to hang up. I'm going to send this message to you, this voicemail. Please listen to it and call me right back because I have rearranged my whole schedule around this delivery on Sunday. So, of course, I go to my voicemails. I have this message. It clearly states from her that they want to deliver on Sunday. So I wait. She doesn't call me back. So a few minutes go by and I'm like waiting. So I'm really stressed and I pick up the phone, I call her back and I was like, did you listen to the voicemail? She said, no, I haven't really had time. But, it turns out that what happened was the office changed. The office changed who the driver was that was going to pick up. And that's why your delivery has been pushed out these 4 days. And I said, well, okay, that is not the story you just had 5 minutes ago to me where you denied that we even had this conversation. She's like, well, my company made this change and it's not really something inside my control. And so there's no way that I would have had any way to anticipate this change. And I said, okay, but it's not my job to notify myself as a client when your company makes a change. That's your job to notify me. And second, you just denied ever even saying this to me. And yet I have a voicemail from you. I've shown it to you. And she's like, well, that's just, my company made this change and it's not anything that I have any control over. So maybe you get a sense, like, just so you know, I'm really tempering this too, because man, I was hot under the collar, but I was still trying to be respectful, even though I didn't feel particularly respectful in this point, because she had multiple times denied having this conversation, having set up this delivery on Sunday on our first call. And the thing that she never did was acknowledge her part in this, the part where she called me and denied the story and then changed her tune and had a whole nother story. And in the selling process, the fact of the matter is it probably was outside of her control that her company made some change, but it's her job to notify. And if nothing else, to acknowledge that she made a mistake. Even if she doesn't think the mistake was the delivery, her mistake was denying that she arranged this date with me and never acknowledged it. I finally said, and she was like, well, is there anything else you need? And I was like, I think I'd like an apology for the fact that moving is stressful. I'm stressed. You have my stuff now. You can hold it hostage. I've rearranged my whole schedule for it to be delivered on Sunday. Now you're telling me it's coming on Wednesday. How about acknowledging and apologizing for the fact that you just caused me a huge inconvenience? And her response was, well, I guess I'm sorry that, my company made this change and that inconveniences you. So again, not ever acknowledging or taking any responsibility at all. So we get off the phone and, turns out, of course, my stuff is delivered on Wednesday because there's nothing I can do. But the fact that she's justifying her behavior and never acknowledging it, my experience with this company up until that point was awesome. The movers were awesome. The packers were awesome. Everything about it was amazing. I paid thousands of dollars to do this and happily paid. But as soon as they put somebody in the mix who has this type of attitude, which I will say, I think when things go wrong and you start to justify the reason that things went wrong, or you start to justify why it's not your fault and how you didn't have any control over it, I kind of see this as, in my opinion, it's a lack of maturity. It's a lack of being able to take responsibility for your part in a situation. As a matter of fact, on Sunday, I was with my 13-year-old niece, and she has a retainer. She took the retainer out of her mouth, she wrapped it in a napkin, and it got thrown away after lunch. And it got thrown away in a public place where, even though I tried to bribe somebody to go through the trash to find it because she was so distraught when she realized she threw it away, that somebody did actually go through the trash and couldn't find it. And so now she has to get a new retainer. Worse, though, is she has to admit to her mother that she lost her retainer. And her mom's one rule is that you do not wrap your retainer in a napkin, for the exact reason that it will likely get forgotten and then thrown away, which is exactly what happened. And my little 13-year-old niece, as distraught as she was like, well, I'm going to, tell my mom that I'll pay for it. And I was like, well, that's a good first step. And so she calls her mom. She tells her mom she lost it. Her mom's, justifiably upset that she put it in the napkin and that she lost the retainer. And we get off, my niece gets off the phone and she comes back and she starts into this justification. She's like, I don't really understand why my mom is so mad. I'm going to pay for it myself. Everybody makes mistakes. And she just starts justifying. And I have to stop her in this moment and say, hey, you don't want your mom to be upset. I get it. But telling your mom she shouldn't be upset for all of these reasons is only going to make the situation worse. When you make a mistake, you acknowledge it, you apologize, and you ask for forgiveness. And you don't need any other justification. You don't need to tell your mom it's not a big deal because you're going to pay for it. You don't need to tell your mom that other people make mistakes. Like, this is the behavior of a 13-year-old who doesn't know better. But as an adult and in a situation where you're selling, you got to know better. You have to treat your clients better than this. So there's no reason to justify. So my niece, by the way, did actually send her mom a text message that said, Mom, I apologize. I know I messed up. Please forgive me. To which her mom responded, please don't be hard on yourself. We'll get through this. It's not that big of a deal, right? So now she feels better. Sometimes just saying I'm sorry without a bunch of justification goes a long way. It goes a long way with my niece and my sister-in-law, and it goes a long way with a client. Which, by the way, on Monday, this woman did call me and said, I do want to say that I'm really sorry that this happened, and I know it caused an inconvenience for you. And then she waited, and I said, okay, thank you. And then there was all this silence, like she was waiting for me to try to make her feel better, which I'm not going to do. I'm the client. And so then I said, was there something else? And she's like, oh, well, yeah, now, it's time to get payment. So of course, she was really calling me because she wanted me to pay them the thousands of dollars that it costs to move across states, which is fine. I owe them the money. But the idea that, again, even in her apology, there was such a lack of any type of acknowledgement for her part that she played. So another time to stop justifying. It's just like, it just really diminishes your credibility. And obviously it diminishes rapport, because I will not actually recommend this company now, even though 90% of my experience was good. They shouldn't have somebody like that working the phones. They shouldn't have somebody like that talking to clients. It's just not good business. Okay. Now, here's the third and final thing that I want to talk about that has to do with stop justifying when selling. And this last one is around declining business. A lot of times, especially as your business grows, you're going to have people reach out to you and want to work with you and want you to do things that are not a good fit for your business because you're an expert, because you have a lot of skills at what you can do. Doesn't mean you should do it, and it doesn't mean you want to do it. So as your business grows, there will be opportunity for you to decline business. This has been a common topic in the Sales Maven Society now I've noticed for the last couple months, that it keeps coming up with new people of like, oh my gosh, I just had this opportunity to decline business, how empowering that feels while still keeping rapport intact. That's an important piece here. But there are times when you're going to need or decide that you want to decline business. And when those come, your best bet is to give a simple answer, not a lot of story as to all your reasons for declining working with somebody. When you start to go into a lot of story and a lot of justification as to why you're declining their business, you now, again, open it up like it's negotiable, like they can try to change your mind. Now, if you want them to, by all means, have a bunch of story around it. But if you want them to respectfully go away so that you can go on and make time to work with your ideal clients, then you don't want to justify. This came up with a client not too long ago who had somebody who reached out who just really wasn't a good fit for not just her business, but not a good fit for the type of business. They actually needed something else. And she wrote this very long explanation as to why she was declining the business. And I went back. She asked me to take a look at it and give her some feedback. I went back with a very short response while still keeping rapport intact, but without all the story. And she came back to me and was like, I just feel like I need to give them, more information about this. And I was like, well, it's your business. You get to decide. You can take my advice or not. And I'm never attached to my clients doing exactly what I say. It's your business. Do what makes sense for you. And when you start adding a bunch of story, you're going to get a lot of interaction back. So I want to actually share with you, before we wrap up this episode, a way to decline business. I actually do have a training module on this. It's inside the Sales Maven Society, where I give multiple ways to do this and in different contexts. There's like 3 main contexts of times you would decline business and different ways that you would say it. But this one I think will be the most universal. So I want to share this language suggestion for you. And all you need to say is, I have a sense our styles, or you could say interests, whichever makes sense. You could actually insert any word here. I have a sense that our interests are not in alignment. So I'm going to respectfully decline working together and wish you well. That's all you need to say. You don't need a lot more than that. That doesn't really open it up for a lot of discussion. Now, they may want to still have discussion. It's up to you whether or not you want to engage. But justifying is going to get you into trouble more times than not. So again, the topic of this episode today was how to stop justifying when selling. It just does not serve you. It diminishes your credibility. It diminishes your authority. And frankly, it breaks rapport often. So the 3 areas again, when you're doing a price increase, when something has gone wrong and you owe somebody an acknowledgement or an apology, probably both, and when you're declining business. Those are the 3 areas that we talked about today. I hope you found this episode helpful. Please, if you have a moment, take time to write your own review. I would love to hear, how is the podcast going for you? Are you being able to implement things? It's been so fun to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.